Have you ever noticed how some people seem to build wealth almost effortlessly, while others work just as hard or even harder and still struggle financially? It's not always about how much you earn. The real difference lies in the decisions people make with their money. The wealthy follow a playbook that most people don't even know exists. And one of their best kept secrets, they avoid certain purchases like the plague. These aren't just bad investments, they're financial traps that quietly drain your money and keep you stuck in the rat race. Today, I'm revealing some of the worst wealth-killing purchases you might already be making without realizing it. These aren't just expensive things, they're deceptive. They look like symbols of success, but in reality, they're doing the opposite. They're slowly pulling you away from real financial freedom. Let's start with one of the most common traps out there. Buying a brand new car. That new car smell, it's intoxicating. But here's the truth. The second you drive off the lot, your car drops in value by about 15%. That's like throwing thousands of dollars out the window before you even get home. Within 5 years, that car can lose over half its value. So that $40,000 car, it might only be worth $18,000 or $20,000 by the time you're still making payments on it. And if you financed it, which most people do, you're not just paying for the original sticker price. Add in interest, and you might be paying over $50,000 in total. Meanwhile, wealthy people rarely fall for this trap. Warren Buffett, one of the richest people in the world, drove a used Cadillac. Not because he couldn't afford better, but because he knew cars are not investments. They lose value the longer you own them. The smarter move? Buy a used car that's 2 or 3 years old with low mileage. You'll still get a reliable vehicle, often with a warranty, but for thousands less. A used Toyota Camry or Honda Accord might not turn heads, but it will keep more money in your bank account. And if you're thinking, well, I need a new car, ask yourself this. Is that new car smell really worth giving up $186,000 in future investment growth? Because that's what $40,000 could turn into if you put it in the S&P 500 for 20 years. The numbers speak for themselves. Now, if you think cars are bad, wait until you hear about timeshares. On the surface, owning a slice of a vacation paradise sounds like a dream. You get a place to return to every year, right? But in reality, timeshares are financial nightmares. First, there's the big upfront cost, often $20,000 or more. But that's just the beginning. You'll also pay annual maintenance fees that never go down. In fact, they usually go up. They might start at $800 a year, but can easily climb to $2,000 or more, whether you use the property or not. And the worst part? When you finally decide it's not worth it and want to sell, you realize almost no one wants to buy a timeshare. The market is full of desperate owners practically begging people to take theirs for pennies, or even paying someone to take over the contract. That's how bad it gets. There are smarter ways to vacation. Book places when you need them. Use platforms like Airbnb, VRBO, or even discounted hotels. You'll have more freedom, less hassle, and no long-term obligations. If you already own a timeshare and feel stuck, there are companies that help people exit these contracts, but they're not cheap. So ask yourself this before signing anything. Does this give me financial flexibility, or is it locking me into something I might regret? Speaking of things that look good on the outside but hurt your wallet, let's talk about designer clothes and accessories. You've seen it. Someone walks by with a $2,000 Louis Vuitton bag or a $10,000 Rolex, and people notice. But here's the uncomfortable truth. A lot of people showing off these luxury items are actually in debt. They're trying to look rich instead of being rich. This is called the luxury paradox. Many truly wealthy people don't dress to impress. Mark Zuckerberg wears gray t-shirts. Warren Buffett still lives in the same house he bought in the 1950s. They understand that it's better to invest money in assets that grow instead of spending it all on things that only show off for a moment. Let's break it down. That $500 pair of designer shoes doesn't just cost $500. If you had invested that money in an ETF like VTI, in 20 years, it could turn into over $20,000. And if you put that purchase on a credit card and don't pay it off, you're likely paying 18% interest or more, doubling the real cost. That's the danger. But now, let's look at something even more dangerous, because it doesn't even give you a product in return. I'm talking about lottery tickets and gambling. This is what I call the tax on hope. It targets the people who are least able to afford losing money. Think about this. The odds of winning the Powerball are 1 in 292 million. You're more likely to get struck by lightning. Literally. Still, the average American spends around $400 a year on lottery tickets. It might not sound like much, but that same amount, invested monthly over 30 years, could grow into over $50,000. That's a college fund, a down payment, a safety net, all wasted on scratchers and dreams of instant wealth. Now, if you thought gambling was bad, get ready for the next one. It's fast, it's sneaky, and almost half of Americans are caught in it right now: credit card debt. That small piece of plastic in your wallet might feel harmless, but if you're not paying it off every month, it's the fastest way to destroy your financial future. The average credit card interest rate is around 20%. That means every unpaid dollar is costing you double over time. Even a relatively small debt of $5,000, if you only make minimum payments, can take more than 15 years to pay off and cost over $10,000 in interest. You're literally buying everything at double the price. Here's the trick credit card companies don't want you to know. They love when you only make the minimum payment. They've calculated it perfectly to keep you in debt as long as possible. That $25 or $35 minimum, it's designed to trap you while they collect massive interest on the back end. Smart money users flip the script. They use credit cards for benefits, cashback, airline miles, fraud protection, but they always pay the full balance every month. No exceptions. Cards like Chase Freedom or Citi Double Cash give you 2% back on everything, but only if you never carry a balance. At this point, you might be realizing that wealth isn't built by earning more, it's built by leaking less. These financial traps are everywhere, and they're disguised as normal life choices. But now that you know what to avoid, you're already ahead of the game. If you found value in this video, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Also, let me know in the comments. Have you ever made one of these money mistakes? No shame here, we've all been there. The goal is to learn, grow, and move smarter from this point forward. And remember, getting rich isn't about looking rich, it's about making smart moves consistently. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.